Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here on Stellar. I wanted to make a video on this on Stellar this morning. I was kind of doubting between Stellar and Hedera, but ultimately opted for Stellar, but both of them are in similar positions, right? So maybe I'll include that in the title. I don't know. I mean, we will not really look at Hedera, but that's just a little bit of a disclaimer. And that I think quite similarly about both of them. But for now, let's get right into it. We're starting off with some fundamentals. I mean, fundamentally, Stellar has not been doing bad, but it also hasn't been doing great, right? So ultimately, if there's no improvement, is that bad? Maybe. DEX trading volumes have actually fallen off a cliff since the middle of August. So that's not great to see. And that's also slightly reflected in the price, I would argue. You can see that Stellar, since the last time I covered it, has dropped a little bit lower. I mean, this was always still a possibility. I just did not expect it that soon, right? Because what I've said for Stellar is that after the highs we made in the middle of July, I thought it was most likely that we would get into some sort of a consolidation. And then if you're in a consolidation and there's bad news or whatever, and you have so many imbalances left to the downside, which is true, right? I mean, XLM basically has imbalances all the way down into 26 cents. That's not nothing. So then if you're in a range up here, it's quite likely that you're going to dip down into those. That's also, by the way, what happened right here. XLM got this beautiful move up, left a lot of imbalances, and it started to dip down into some of those imbalances, and it filled quite a lot of them. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them. And that's also going on right now, and it filled a imbalance right here, at least partially around 35 cents, which is also the 0.618 FIB. Which is also a very respected support level. So now I think Stellar, but the same for Hedera, right? I'll take a quick look at it. But the same for Hedera, they're at crucial support levels. Hedera also filled some more of this imbalance and found support at the yearly rolling VWAP. So both of these are in similar situations when we need to get some sort of a good reaction here to make this the bottom of the range. And not the start of a downtrend, right? Because that's why it's critical. Because if we're unable, right? For Stellar, the most important level right now is this level right here between 37 and 36 cents. Then we have the 7-day rolling VWAP. We have some sort of a respected key level, as you can see, and a 200 EMA on the 12-hour time frame. And on the daily time frame, it also looks quite important. So we need to reclaim that. If we're unable to, if we reclaim that with strength, which I think is most likely, by the way, all right, because of my bias on, or at least because of my expectations on the entire market, because of my expectations on Bitcoin. I think it's most likely we will be able to get a good reaction from this very strong support level, by the way, and that we will be able to get a reclaim right here, and that we'll be able to gain some stability, at least up to 40 cents. And then maybe later we can get a move, if there's some momentum, we can get a move into 43.5 cents where we still have an imbalance left. Something like this is what I think is most likely. But I think it's good to be cautious, going into a new month right here, going into quite some volatile times with major economic data at the end of the week, but also there's also an interest rate decision the 17th of September, right? So that's going to cause volatility as well. So because of that, I think it's good to be cautious. And I think it's good to remember or realize that if XLM is unable to form a bottom here, so if it's unable to reclaim that 7-day rolling VWAP with strength, it is still possible that we will drop down lower. So even though I think into 32 and 32.5 cents. So even though I think this is not the most likely scenario, I think hopefully I was able to convey my thoughts on when this does become most likely, right? Strong reaction at the 7-day rolling VWAP, weak reclaim. Then this becomes most likely. But for now, I think we've hit a strong support level. I think we're showing some bottoming price action. I think we're getting some new momentum back into the price. That's why I think it's still most likely that we will be able to get a strong reclaim and that we will be able to get some more stability. But those are my thoughts. I'll keep you updated on this. Let me know if you also want a specific update on Hedera, if you're interested in that. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.